Have you and your team ever struggled to finish your tasks in time? Is organization a problem for you? Have you ever gotten mad about that? Well, Scrum is the answer for all those problems.
During the 80s, Scrum was introduced in hopes of achieving a standardized, high-level software development framework. As an answer to the need for efficiency in developing progress, it aims to help teams work together in achieving their goals. This framework just sets out the different relationships and interactions between components during the working process. The rest of the work is built upon the collective intelligence of its users. Scrum is founded on empiricism and lean thinking. In other words, it is based on learning from experience and focusing on essentials.
There are three main Scrum pillars, sometimes called pillars of empiricism: transparency, inspection, and adaptation, where each one enables the next. Regarding the values upheld by users, we can distinguish commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. It is by following these fundamentals that Scrum allows the Scrum team to complete satisfactory products for all stakeholders.
Teacher, but who are those stakeholders?
Well, anyone with a vested interest in the product who is not part of the Scrum team.
The fundamental unit of Scrum is a small team of people, denominated as a Scrum Team, which lacks hierarchy but has some roles of its own. First of all, we have the product owner, who illustrates the client's voice. This person is the only one who can change the priorities and is due to effectively manage the product backlog. Don't worry though, we will explain it in a second. Then we have the developers, who jointly develop the project. These people create a plan for each sprint as well as adapt it every day towards the goal. But who makes sure Scrum is understood? The answer is the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is a leader accountable for establishing Scrum and ensuring its adoption. Being self-managing and multifunctional, it is internally decided who does what, when, and how. No need for outside help.
Now we have the people, but how can we measure both work and value? This is done through elements called backlogs. First of all, we have the product backlog, which is a priority-based list containing all user stories that will make the product great. That is, futures written from the perspective of an end user. Moreover, we have the sprint backlog, which aims to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how the work will be achieved. We have mentioned the term sprint several times by now, but what is it exactly? Well, it is a short time-boxed period when a Scrum team works to complete a set amount of work. To help keep track of the things done during each sprint, we have a tool called burndown chart. This way, we can visualize sprint tasks and period's progress over time. After identifying which user stories will go into a particular release, they become part of our release backlog.
Now, let's talk about the meetings or discussions that take place during the sprint, also known as ceremonies. Each sprint starts with the sprint planning. Here, it will be discussed what to bring from the release backlog to the sprint backlog. During each day of the sprint, the daily scrum takes place. In this stand-up meeting, the team will discuss what has been completed since the previous meeting, what they are working on, and encounter problems. In summary, they ensure the sprint is on track and team members have the tools that they need.
By the end of the sprint review is held, where a potentially shippable product is presented to the stakeholders, who decide if more features are needed before shipment. That is, a chance to get feedback. A product is considered done when it meets the quality measures required. Moreover, the sprint retrospective will as well take place after the sprint in order to discuss ways to improve the process going forward, learning from the experience of the previous sprints.
And that, kids, is how you met Scrum. Now the question is, what are you gonna do next?